Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Physiotherapy Online Lectures. Today we are going to study resisted exercise. So first we'll start with the definition of resisted exercise. Resisted exercise, it is any form of active exercise in which dynamic or static muscle contraction is 1 minute. Contraction is restricted. Okay, the contraction is restricted. Dynamic or static, any type of contraction which is restricted by an outside force applied manually or mechanically to improve the muscular efficiency is known as resisted exercise. Or it is any form of active exercise in which dynamic or static muscle contraction, any type of contraction, it may be dynamic or static muscle contraction, is restricted by an outside force or external force. You can say external force, manually or mechanically, to improve the muscle efficiency is known as the resisted exercise. Okay, we will go to the factors influencing the efficacy or efficiency of muscular action. Number one is muscle power. So what is muscle power? It is the rate at which a muscle contracts and develop force throughout the range of motion. So muscle power is work per unit of time. Power is work per unit of time. So the P is equal to force into distance by time. Okay. Number 2 is muscle endurance. Endurance is the ability of the muscle to perform low intensity repetitive exercise over a prolonged period of time. Without getting fatigue. One thing here, the power is, or muscle power is progressive resistance, low repetition exercise. But muscle endurance is low resistance high, just opposite, repetition exercise. Number 3, muscle volume. It refers to muscle mass that is determined by cross-sectional area of the muscle. People with larger muscle cross sectional area can generate greater amount of force. So muscle volume, it refers to the muscle mass that is determined by the cross sectional area of the muscle. People with larger muscle cross sectional area will generate a larger amount of force. So it is high resistance, high repetition exercise. Number 4, speed of the muscle contraction. Number 5, muscle coordination. This is the speed, in what speed the muscle is contracting, that relates to the time efficacy. And this is the muscle coordination. It refers to the you can say the ability of the muscles to work together, and it can be considered as considered in relation with both relative time and relative magnitude. Okay, so these are the factor influencing the efficacy of the muscle action. Okay, so this now for the types of resisted exercise. Types of, one is static exercise. Exercise that causes the muscle contraction without any changes in the muscle length or joint angle is known as static or isometric resistance exercise. Number 2, dynamic resistance exercise. What is this exercise? That cause muscle contraction along with change in muscle length. These are isotonic or dynamic resistance exercise. It is further subdivided into two categories. One is constant resistance, another one is variable resistance. So what is constant resistance? It is in constant resistance exercise, the resistance is against the target muscle or the group of muscle does not vary throughout the range of motion. Example, lifting of free weights. So this is the example of constant resistance exercise. In variable resistance exercise, that is the amount of resistance against the target muscle vary throughout the range of motion. Example is flexible band or machines. So these are the dynamic resistance exercise. The dynamic resistance exercise is also further subdivided into two categories. One category is of, this is A category, it is constant resistance or variable resistance, and another category is divided into open kinematic chain exercise and close kinematic chain exercise. What is open? In open chain exercise, the distal segment of the limb is not fixed. Distal segment means here it is the leg, or it is not fixed. The distal segment is, so the movement occurs at the distal segment. Suppose this is the biceps, okay, this is biceps, this is elbow. The elbow is flexing towards this side. The distal portion is the wrist, district moving towards this side. This is example of open kinematic chain. So example is biceps curl or leg extension in high sitting. What is close kinematic chain exercise? Here the distal segment of limb is fixed. The proximal part moves. Example is the push-up exercise or squatting. The both distal segment is fixed, only the proximal segment moves. That is the, suppose this is the human body, this is the leg, this is the proximal segment, this is proximal segment, and this is distal segment. When you are in this distal segment from here to here, it is fixed and this only moves. This proximal segment moves. So it is the example of the close kinematic chain exercise. The resistor exercise is further type C classified into isometric contraction and isotonic contraction. What is isometric contraction? It is the muscle contraction in which the length of the muscle remain the same while generating force. Okay. What is isotonic contraction? It is the muscle contraction in which the muscle tension remains same while the length of the muscle changes. Okay. This isotonic contraction is further subdivided into two types. Concentric or myometric contraction. Another one is the eccentric. eccentric or plyometric contraction. Okay, so what is concentric contraction? Concentric contraction, it is contraction that shortens the muscle while generating force. Suppose this is the hand, this is the biceps muscle. Okay, the biceps is contracting the elbow towards the shoulder. This is the concentric contraction. Okay, it is, this is the wrist, this is the elbow, the biceps muscle is concentric contraction. What is eccentric contraction? It is the eccentric or plyometric. Minute. It is a contraction that lengthen the muscle while generating force. Okay, means same ways from extension to flexion, this side movement is eccentric contraction. Okay, now we'll know the modes of resistance application. Modes of resistance. What are the modes of resistance? One is manual resistance. It refers to the active resisted exercise in which the resistance force is applied by the physiotherapist. Okay, number two is mechanical resistance. It also refers to the active resisted exercise which is provided by any equipment or by machine in isotonic or isometric muscle contraction. Okay, now the amount of resistance which is offered can be modified by altering modification amount of modification of amount of resistance by number one, modification of the lever arm. Okay, and the lever arm, how? By changing the fulcrum. Number two is the amount of resistance by increased or decreased speed, duration, changing the relationship to gravity. Suppose anti-gravity or gravity eliminated position. Number six is repetition. Okay, next is rules and principles of application of resisted exercise. Number one is starting position. It must be selected to ensure maximal postural efficacy as the basis of movement. Two is fixation. At first is static position, next one is fixation. What is the fixation? The proximal part of the exercised limb should be adequately fixed by the therapist to improve efficacy of agonist muscles. Number 3 is resistance force. Must be given smoothly and gradually from beginning. Must be from the beginning to the end of the movement range. Number 4 is repetition. The number of repetition depends on the aim of the exercise Next, we will study under the resisted exercise is the progressive resisted exercise. It is the most important and frequent question asked from this resisted exercise, or shortly known as the PRE. Okay, the progressive resisted exercise. But first know the definition of progressive resisted exercise. PRE is an exercise approach of improving the muscular ability to generate the force. Okay, it is also systematic increase in resistance is applied to the working muscle to continuously accommodate the force production. Next we'll study some related terms in the PRE. Related terms are the question comes from this, that is the repetition. Number 1, some related terms in PRE. First is repetition. What is repetition? The number of times a specific movement is repeated, or the number of muscle contraction performed against a level of resistance. Suppose set the is the a given number of repetition or group of repetition. Number 2 is the most important, frequently asked in the exam as a short note, is the repetition maximum or RM. What is RM of repetition maximum? The maximum amount of weight a person can move through a range of motion for a given number of repetition. Okay, the maximum amount of weight a person can move through a range of motion for a given number of repetition, that is known as the RM of repetition maximum. For example, 1 RM or repetition maximum is the maximum weight that can be lifted for 1 repetition, or you can say 5 RM is the maximum weight that can be lifted for 5 repetition. So this is the repetition maximum. Okay, next we'll study methods of pairing. Application. Methods of pairing application. It includes increase the quantity of weight lifted in a given RM to increase the number of repetition in a set. Number 3, increase the rest time, increase the number of set, reduce the rest time between the sets, increase the range of motion. Number 6, increase the difficulty level of the exercise, increase the frequency of training. Okay, next we'll go to the components of exercise prescription of registered exercise. Number 1 component is volume. The total number of repetition and sets of exercise performed during a single exercise session. Number 2 is intensity. The amount of resistance given to a contracting muscle during each repetition, that is the intensity. Number 3 component is frequency. The frequency is the number of exercise session performed. 4 is the mode. The type of or manner of the exercise performed. 5 is duration. The number of weeks or month in which the exercise session is completed. Number 6 is progression. It is achieved by the frequency, intensity, volume, duration of exercise, or by decreasing the rest period between sets. So these are the components of exercise. Next we'll go to the principle of PRE. Number 1 is principle of overload, or it is known as the overload principle. According to this principle, it is necessary to stimulate the body with a stimulus, that is overload. The stimulus is the overload, which exceeds the stimulus of the body receives on a regular basis. Next is number 2. First one was the principle of overload or overload principle. Second one is the principle of progression. According to this principle, there should be gradual, smooth, and consistent increase in the overload over an extended period of time to maximize the effectiveness. So this is the principle of progression. Next we will go to the exercise regime. That exercise regime are frequently asked in the questions in the PPT or the MPT. The exercise regimes of PRE. Number A is Delorme and Watkins regime or technique. Okay. In Delorme and Watkins methods, it is a systematic method of applying progressive resistance exercise. It is a systematic method of applying the progressive resistance exercise starting from light to heavy. It was designed for resistance training for faster recovery of the patients. In this regimen, the resistance or weight is increased progressively, like initially half kg, followed by 3/4 kg, and then 1 kg for each and every session. Okay, the following steps are there. Steps: at first, determine the 10 RM. Okay. Next, perform 3 sets. The first set is 10 repetition at 50% of 10 RM. Second set, 10 repetition at 75% of 10 RM. Third set is even a repetition at 100% of 10 RM. So this is the Dillon-Watkin technique for progressive resistance exercise. Next one is the Oxford technique or Genevieve. Everything will be same. It is one thing I have forgot to this technique perform 4 session weekly and occurs 10 RM once weekly. Okay. Oxford and Genevieve technique, it is an alternating method for PRE. It was designed to accommodate the cumulative fatigue of each set of maximum resistance. In this technique, there is regressive loading at each set. Steps same. First, determine the 10 RM, perform 3 sets. First set 10 repetition at 100% of 10 RM. Ten repetition or 10 lift. Okay. Next, second set is 10 lift again with 1 minute with 10 RM minus 1 pound. Okay. Third set is 10 lifts with 10 RM minus 2 pound. Fourth set 10 lift with 10 RM minus 3 pounds. Fifth set 10 lifts with 10 RM minus 4 pound. 6 set 10 lifts with 10 RM minus 5. 7 set 10 lifts with 10 RM minus 6 pound. 8th set 10 lifts with 10 RM minus 7 pounds. 9th set 10 lifts with 10 RM minus 8 pounds. And 10th set is 10 lifts with 10 RM minus 9 pounds. Here 100 lifts 5 times weekly and progress 10 RM daily. The third technique is the McQueen technique. Here it is 10 lifts with 10 RM. First set, second set 10 lifts with 10 RM. Third set is again 10 lifts with 10 RM. Fourth set is again 10 lifts with 10 RM. The total 40 lifts 3 times weekly is required for the progressive resistance exercise, and the progression or progress 10 RM every 1 to 2 weeks. Okay, so these are the techniques, and here the registered exercise ends. Okay, thank you. If any query, if you have any query, please write it down in the comment section.